Good morning and welcome to the Really Helpful Club. This is our latest in our In Conversation series. I'm Sarah Austin and I'm going to be talking to Lara Milward this morning. For those of you who don't know, Lara is a NeuroLeadership coach and a fitness coach, and she works with individual teams. Going to be joining us at the Power Decade conference on the 5th of October. And this morning we're going to hear a little bit more about Lara and what she's going to talk about.
Morning,
Lara,
Sarah.
good morning.
Very
Welcome.
well,
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Lovely to see you. Always a joy. And I was just literally giving the heads up that you're going to be talking at our conference in a couple of weeks' time. And I know you and I have known each other a long time. We could talk all day. And I know we've done one of these lives before, and it's just so exciting. But what I want to do, this morning is kind of set the scene of you, your background, where you come from, your journey, because it's so interesting and so inspirational to start with. But I think it's also really important to set the context of who you are and you know why you're going to be talking at this conference, and then we'll talk a little bit about what you're going to be talking about. So what I love in this In Conversation series is getting to know you, the person behind the business, the person behind the brand, the person behind all the, you know, kind of all the imagery and all the glam and everything else. So, you know, let's just sort of take a couple of minutes just to kind of learn about Lara Milward, the Lara Milward behind the Lara Milward brand that we know is just so powerful and impressive. You know, where did you all start, and you know, how do you get to be where you are now?
And thank you for that. And gosh, in a couple of minutes, probably honestly not possible, but let's concentrate that down. I think I often get quite uncomfortable talking about me. I think there's lots of people out there that like to talk from the ego point of view, and as a coach, for me, it's always about other people and getting them to better, whatever better looks like for them. But the reason I think the passion is behind helping people do that really comes from physical challenges, from the ones that I've been through and how that's changed me, but also coaching lots of people to believe in themselves. And that's where the joy comes from me, is being a coach is really about the other person and the other person achieving. So I think it was lucky to grow up in Canada. I wasn't aware of my gender. The boys and the girls armed wrestled and played basketball and skied together. So there wasn't anything a girl couldn't do. And I think that it was a wonderful start in life. And from that, coming through a fitness business, which I started up when the children were young. And that was really the turning point to get to where I am now, is that I saw so many people transformed by physical challenge. And by that, I mean their confidence and self-belief transformed by getting through something they didn't believe they could. And as I watched that, happen to many, many people that I came across, I wanted to understand what was going on in the brain. What was changing for people that gave them that confidence and that self-belief. And that's where I became interested in the neuroscience, and in lockdown studied with the NeuroLeadership Institute in New York to really understand the changes in the brain, not only when we get through something physically, but how could we coach the brain to be stronger and get to better, like we can coach the body, and have an understanding of the brain to help us get to better. Just like an understanding of the body helps us to get physically stronger, why don't we look at the brain like that? And that led me to make coaching programs for individuals and teams, just like one would coach the body. Why not look at the brain like that?
It's so interesting, isn't it? Because everyone's heard of business coaches, life coaches. You know, there's a coach for sort of almost every kind of part of your life. But I think this idea of, if I'm not mistaken, a NeuroLeadership coach is relatively new, modern, although the study of the brain isn't. But it's really important, because you're absolutely right. You know, I think we understand the concept of overcoming challenge and what that can do to us physically, and we all set ourselves goals. You know, the person that's, you know, why do you suddenly run a marathon at 51 or 55? You know, it is to challenge yourself and to overcome a mountain that you didn't think you could do. But the process of challenging the brain and combining that, I think is just
absolutely, and they work in very similar ways. Just like you said, Sarah. You know, if we take Perugia Gordon, who's also speaking with me in the conference, you know, she spoke on your Insta Live last week about rowing the ocean, right? And how she got to a point in her life where self-belief and confidence had disappeared. And a lot of the people we're talking to aren't we, are
Yes.
women who've changed career, women who've had children, had a break, and you do lose that self-belief and that confidence. I did too. You step back out of your career and you wonder what next. And getting through things that are difficult, where you have to emotionally regulate as well as get through tough. So you're doing a lot of things there when you're getting through something physically, which is the same as getting through a difficult challenge at work or mentally. So you're coping with emotions, with fear, with stress, with the negative self-talk, I can't do it. And you're learning that you can cope, you're learning that you can get through. And the next time a problem comes, you have a little bit more confidence that you'll manage it. It's a muscle, exactly. And every time you use it and practice, it gets stronger. So in that sense, let's look at fueling the brain, fueling confidence, fueling your leadership, fueling your empathy, like you would fuel and nourish a muscle if you wanted it to get stronger. So that's when I talk about the NeuroLeadership. If you understand your brain to get stronger, like you need to understand your body to get stronger physically, if you understand how the brain works, let's create fuel sessions that help people get to better. Tools that help you work with your brain, not against it. Understanding why I have negative self-talk, understanding where stress comes from, understanding that social pain registers in the brain the same place as physical pain. If I know that why, that helps me cope and get better. And then I can start to move forward. If I understand how a bicep gets stronger, I can move forward. See what I mean? So that's why I love the similarity between the two, and I love using that as a way of helping people work better, live better, get stronger in all areas of their life.
I think it's so relatable, as you say. If this is relatable to men, to women, regardless of age. I mean, clearly at those key transition points in life, which could be just after having your first baby. It's such a discombobulating stage in your life. It's so exciting, but it's also so challenging as well. And it's that kind of honesty that if you can approach transition points with a degree of honesty, then you are better able to accept the sort of things that that you're talking about. And so I think this is incredibly relatable to everybody attending the conference, everyone who's kind of listening to this now, and I'm so pleased that you're coming back to talk to our conference. I mean, I remember you spoke at a conference of ours back in May, and it was just, in fact, that was where I had the light bulb moment for this one, because it was that kind of yes you can moment, and it wasn't kind of that whole thing of people need to learn to say no to things, but it's also when to say yes, and that leaning in and accepting and yielding and growing and building resilience as you're talking about. And so for anyone that's watching, we would love you to come and join us. Our conference is on Thursday the 5th of October, so that's 2 weeks on Thursday. So you need to get yourselves organised and booked in. It's going to be at Roehampton Club, which is in London and SW15. And we've got the most amazing lineup of speakers. Lara's talked about Perugia Gordon, who another formidable speaker and just so inspirational, talking about her journey of self-discovery and building her confidence, as Lara said. We've got a whole raft of conversations going on around relationships, around financial freedom, around dialing up your health. And it's almost like you're holding up a mirror to yourself, where it is, okay, this is me aged 30, 40, 50, 70, 80. I mean, if this is about you, it's not for us to judge when your power decade is. Your power decade is now, right now, for you to grab. But this is you holding up the mirror to your life and going, how do my relationships look? What could I do to make my relationship with myself, with my partner, with friends? What can I do to improve on it? What can I do to my mindset, which is where you're kicking in? And what do I do in terms of my health? If I've got another 20, 40, 60 years on this planet, what do I want to do to make it really good? And as you say, be the better version, the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And that means
we hear
taking
about stuff
control.
like that all the time.
That means
you'd have to be living under a rock if you hadn't heard people talking about your comfort zone all the time. And I'm sure we're all sick of hearing that. But a muscle without challenge does not get stronger. It atrophies and dies, right? Same physical muscle, mental muscle. So as we age, and I suspect we'll be talking to people, 30 plus at this conference, what challenges you is good stress, is eustress, not distress. It's eustress. And with that good stress, we grow and the muscle grows and we stay, you know, positive and purposeful in life. And it's not that aging is now a stop or frailty or something that's always been talked about as things that are taken away, you know. But I'm stronger at 53 than I was at 23 because I'm using those muscles and I'm using resistance, and everybody can do that. It's not that I'm different to anyone else. But the most important thing about that isn't the aesthetic, it's the change in your brain, you know, building more BDNF in the brain so we don't get Alzheimer's, you know, all those kind of things, putting the beautiful neurochemicals that happen in the brain when you do physically move, but also so that you can get up out of a chair, so that you can lift your shopping.
Yeah.
You know, let's live well. It's the best investment you can make going forward, is to thinking about, as you just said, Sarah, how can I be powerful in this decade? How can I be better? And what you're doing, Sarah, what I love about what you're doing is providing that fuel. So your whole conference will be a fuel session for people's mental muscle, giving them nourishment and challenge as to what can be next. Because a lot of us, if we're sitting home alone or you know, we have this negative self-talk, I can't, I won't, I'm not good enough, everybody else has got it sorted, those sorts of feelings. No, we haven't actually. We're all the same. And when we talk together, it validates that, and we become stronger and better by discussing it together.
I totally agree. And I think that, to me, this is the first time we've done this conference, and I love that because it means that it can take on a whole character of its own. And, you know, this is not us preaching what your power decade is. This is not about me. This is not about you. This is about each individual that's attending, that, you know, they're there for a variety of different reasons. And it's about them, whatever they can get out of it. So without kind of doing too many spoilers, because we obviously want people to come, and without doing too many spoilers, your talk is called Connecting Body and Mind, Unleash Your Superpower. I mean, God, who doesn't want to come and listen to Lara Milward talking about that? And so give us in a kind of, you know, in a lovely kind of nutshell sort of way, what people might expect when they come and listen to you talking about
what they can expect is that I won't be talking at them, I'll be talking with them, and it won't be about my story or my CV. It'll be about you and all of the power that everyone has within them, and we've heard that all before, but everyone has so much more in them than they think they do, and sometimes it just takes that person to put their hand on their back and say, yes you can. So I will be saying yes you can, provide some of the brain science that can help you do that. But I think, you know, I'm going to bring some of the workshops, Sarah, as I sort of said to you. You're going to let me dance in the moment a little bit, and pick out some of the
literally
literally
spoiler alert
tomorrow. Give you some fuel from me, some brain-based fuel from me, and then helping everyone define what this next decade can look like. And I'm really hoping build some self-belief that everyone's got another 10, 20, 30 years ahead of them, where they can get to that place that feels better and more powerful.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to hear you, and we will share this on all our different social media channels afterwards. If you know Lara, if you've heard something that Lara said today and you want to come, book in. The link is in our bio on the Really Helpful Club Instagram page, but also this is all over our website. You know, again, you can't really miss this. But also, if you know someone and you think, God, this is resonating with me, but you know, I think it would really resonate with them, then please share it with them, because it's too good. It's too good to miss this. And, you know, the worst thing in the world, I always think, is when someone goes, oh, I really wanted to listen to her, but I had such and such going on. My best advice to you is to clear it, come, and you won't regret it. So Lara Milward, thank you very much. Look forward to hearing you on Thursday, the 5th of October. Too good to miss. This is
Absolutely.
Your Power
Thank you, Sarah. Lovely to see you. See you on the 5th. Bye.
You too.